Hallo, assalamu alaikum, good morning, khushamdi, ji ayanu, goeiemorgen.
Bakhair Ragale, Ni Hao, Chure Shumme, Washwale, Ohio Gazaimus, Guten Morgen, Ola, Bonjour, Privyet, Kaifahal, Halish Shamachatore, Ahlan Wasalan Marhaba, Buna, Mucho, Gracias, Ishpata, and a very amazing good morning to everybody who's tuned into PTV World and are watching World this morning alongside the very amazing, the very talented Shiza Hashmi and Shahzad Khan. Hi Shiza, how are you today?
I am absolutely great and energetic. What about you?
Well, I'm great too as well. I think just right now, ladies and gentlemen, before coming on air right in front of you guys, so all three of us, we were having a conversation, and I think that it kind of gave me a little bit of energy because the type of things we discuss, we cannot discuss them on television.
Absolutely.
So half of the time, I think this is what happens in between friends too as well. What about you?
I totally do agree with you. And since you're talking about things that we can't talk in front of TV, words actually do matter.
Yes.
Because the things, especially that you say early in the morning, sort of shape a person's day.
Exactly.
So we keep reiterating, we keep telling you to be kind to each other. Well, you have to be kind to each other, especially early in the morning, because the person that you're talking to is going to carry your words with them throughout the day. So it's okay if you're not a morning person. I'm not a morning person. I need my coffee before I'm nice to anyone else.
Yeah.
But force yourself to do it. Push yourself to be kind to other people.
Exactly.
Use a compliment. Tell them something good about them, or probably share a happy memory because it shapes their day and it will shape yours as well.
Amazing. Wow, what a wonderful message. And I think I've got something other than that too as well to add on to the message. And that is, ladies and gentlemen, that half of the time when we see people, when we greet them, when they come over to our places, or whenever we go out, I have seen that this latest trend, which I'm not very fond of, and what happens is that people will actually say, oh, your jacket looks nice. Oh, your shoes look nice. Oh, your tie look nice. But what happens is that they don't tell the other person that you look nice. And imagine that, for that person, I think it's going to be a compliment in a way where he's actually going to take 5 more selfies and upload them with 100% confidence.
That's true.
Because everybody told him that, or her, that, you look nice. So please make sure that you give a compliment if it's necessary.
Absolutely. Words matter again, so be kind with your words. Be kind in choosing your words as well.
Yeah.
So
But
what about
at the same time,
Okay.
at the same time, since words matter, ladies and gentlemen, these days the weather matters too as well, because we do not want anybody else to probably be under the weather and be sick and whatnot, which is why I'm going to let you know how the weather is going to be today. I think that it's going to be dry.
Okay.
So that's what we are expecting, but let's take a look how the weather is going to be today, ladies and gentlemen. So, okay. From the images, it looks a little foggy, but cold and dry, partly cloudy weather is expected in most parts of the country.
And foggy conditions expected at a few places in plain areas of Punjab and Upper Sindh, and continental air is prevailing over most parts of the country.
Yeah, so people who actually intend to travel in between Punjab, I think probably you really have to be careful while driving. I mean, this is why we were sharing these images as well. And time now for the birthday wishes. We keep on telling people that you can write to us if you want to wish any of your loved ones your birthday or her birthday or his birthday. So here it is. I think a shout out to Sufyan. Let's do that. Play the birthday song.
Are we? Okay.
Happy birthday, Sufyan, and may you have many more. Happy birthday to you. May you have many more. Happy birthday, dear Sufyan. Happy birthday to you. May you prosper, may you get success, and may all of us be successful in life. Amen.
Well, this is Sufyan. Happy birthday to him. I hope you have a great day.
Sufyan, that wasn't really a birthday face, but it's still all right. Since it's your birthday, we are forgiving you for the type of picture you've taken. But yeah, it was a good one.
It's absolutely great to
Sufyan,
share
happy
it with
birthday.
us. So like Sufyan, you can also share your birthdays or important days of your life with us, and we're going to celebrate it with you.
Yeah, which is why, I think I'm going to remind all of my people out there, for people who actually love us for what they do. It's my birthday month as well. So, yeah, probably we'll be having a cake cutting ceremony very soon. If my colleagues over here actually are going to buy a cake and then bring one over here and then make me eat it. Yeah,
we'll give you a surprise.
And then
the surprise that you know.
And then I can probably treat you guys back with some good food.
Oh, perfect.
So
How
this
amazing
is something which we can do, but I do not like birthdays anymore since I am probably in that age frame where I really do not want to move ahead, okay? I want to stop
come on,
over
you're
here.
turning 25.
Yeah, not 25. I'm going back. I'm turning 24 today.
Oh, perfect, man.
Yeah, all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, now coming down to what we wanted to do actually. But other than that, there's this one more thing which we wanted to talk about, which is why we've actually moved the fitness segment at the start of the show. And I think that it is very relative
Relevant as well, yes.
Because, ladies and gentlemen, what happens is that a lot of times when we go outside, especially when we go outside to eat Chinese food, so what happens is when you eat that food and, I don't know what, I think this Chinese salt, I do not like it very much. And it's because of the fact that, it gives you, I do not even know how to express my feelings. So first of all, Chinese food, when you eat it, after an hour, you feel hungry again. So
Okay.
I think that's what my problem is. What about you?
It also sort of gives you blood pressure issues. I've observed that myself as well and heard that from people who use it as well.
Okay.
So it's not very necessary that if you like it, it's going to suit you. But that is why we have Lubna over here. She's going to tell you the pros and cons of this thing and what you can do to replace this thing in your food.
So let's put our hands together for the one and only, our lifestyle coach, Miss Lubna Khan Faraz. Hello, Lubna. Hi, how are you?
Good morning. I'm doing very well. And how are you both?
Absolutely perfect.
fine.
Thank you very much for joining us. So what is monosodium
Glutamate.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Monosodium glutamate, known as MSG. A lot of people know about it. A lot of people don't know about it, which is why I'm discussing the topic with you all today. It is Chinese salt. It's used in a lot of dishes. But what it basically is, let's go down to the basic of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is a protein found in, it's linked to a protein called glutamic acid.
Okay.
So glutamic acid is actually a normal and natural thing. So glutamic acid in itself is attached to foods like meat or fish or tomatoes or mushrooms. So it's that salty, savory flavor that you actually taste in food yourself.
Yeah.
However, what's MSG is that it's an isolated form of the glutamic acid. So it's processed very differently in your body. So it's found in foods like potato chips, seasonings that we have, Chinese salt that we mentioned, frozen meals, cold cut meats that we have for sandwiches and everything. Instant noodles is a very big one. All the noodle dishes have this ingredient. And Ajinomoto is another name for it, glutamic acid. It's even magnesium, glutamate is known as that as well. Gelatin, yeast extract is also a way that you can find it on the label as well. But what it basically does to you, here are three main things, the negative things that it can do to you. Now, mind you, a lot of people are sensitive to it, so they will feel like these kind of things in their body more often than the other people. So you might be more sensitive towards it, basically. So the first thing that it can do is that it can cause very different chemical reactions in your body. Because of it's a different processed kind of glutamic acid, what it does to your body is that it can give you different headaches, brain fog. It can give you high blood pressure. It can give you asthma attacks as for a lot of people. It can also, people say it's a very contributing thing for weight gain as well. So weight gain in the sense that, yes, it does make you want to eat more. It does make you feel like you're not full yet. A lot of studies have shown that it links to people and it makes them feel, because it's so savory, it can basically take a dish that doesn't taste good at all and make it taste really good.
Yeah.
So that's what makes you want to keep eating more when you're having these noodle dishes and these soups, especially because it makes it so savory.
You mentioned about yeast as well. So what, are you telling us that we are not even supposed to have pizzas? Anything other than that? I mean, so what do we do? What are the replacements?
Pizza is actually can be healthy. It can be very healthy. But
Really?
Yes.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. How can pizza be healthy?
So there's different alternatives. Like if you think about pizza, it's actually not that bad. It has your good dairy, fermented cheese, right? Fermented dairy. It has your vegetables. It has your green capsicums. It can have tomatoes. It can have mushrooms. So it really depends on the toppings you choose. And you can kind of lean towards. There's not many options available in Pakistan yet, but I really hope that they do come through. They can be whole wheat crust. There can be crust made from cauliflower. So there's different things you can do with pizza and still have your favorite food. It's not about giving up, your favorite food items. You just basically substitute it for something better. But yes, coming back to MSG, what you can replace that from. So even those little broth cubes that we use at home sometimes when you're making those dishes, they do include MSG at times. So I do highly recommend that you read your labels. So yes, instead of those, you can try using different seasonings. seasonings, different, use actual tomatoes, use actual like vegetable stock, make your whole own vegetable stock or chicken broth at home by boiling it, right? Because that's basically what it is. But to save time, we end up using these cubes or these seasonings like Chinese salt or anything like that. So it's better to use the natural ingredients.
Okay, so one more thing. I'm sorry, I'm
Yeah,
cutting
yeah,
you
go
off.
ahead.
But you know, when you go to a Chinese restaurant, it's for sure they are using MSG in their dishes, right? So can you ask them to not use it, or can you tell them you're probably allergic to it?
Definitely. You definitely can do that. Now, a lot of restaurants are already not including this item. So you'll see in their menu, MSG-free menu. Like,
Oh,
you know.
perfect.
So there are a lot of restaurants now that this is becoming like, you know, because people are consuming and eating food out so much that, you know, yes, a little amount of MSG might not be as bad for you.
Okay.
But if you're repeatedly having it, it's toxic to your body, right? So excess amounts of it can have really toxic effects, and your headaches can really go up, your brain fog, asthma, even heart disease, your blood pressure keeps going up and down. That's your energy crash, right? So you eat food, you're super happy, you're energetic, and then there goes a crash after an hour. You're like, oh my God, like I'm sleepy, I'm hungry again, I don't have energy. That's not how food is supposed to make you feel,
Right.
So that's the artificial ingredients that we have to avoid and read our labels.
So okay, so when half of the time when, you know, because usually I actually have to go with my mother too as well to shop for things. So what are we actually looking for on the boxes we are buying?
So like I mentioned, you're looking definitely for the label of not to have monosodium glutamate. You're looking for it not to have yeast extract, gelatin, anything hydrolyzed vegetable protein or like hydrolyzed vegetable isolate. Anything hydrolyzed is basically MSG. So you want to avoid those kind of names. Anything kind of like, anything artificial, like even aspartame, for example, is an artificial sweetener. All these things have a negative effect on your neurotransmitters in your body, right? Because they signal your brain in a very different way, unnatural way. So your brain will be like, oh, I love this food. I want to keep having it, you know? Oh, I want to have more. Okay, I'm done now, but after an hour, I want it again. Like, you know, that's why all these sodas and stuff like that, why do kids love them so much? Because it gives
It's
you
so
all this
addictive,
sugar
man.
high, right? Your brain is like, oh my God, like, you know, dopamine is released. It's like, I love this. But in real life, it's not that food that you're craving, it's the sugar.
So then that means that it can
perfect.
actually add to your weight too as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely, definitely. It is a huge contribution to your weight gain. So like excess belly fat, you know, because it just goes and sits in your body. The actual glutamic acid that's found in tomatoes or mushrooms, that's broken down by your body like like, you know, slowly your body will digest it. But this processed version of glutamic acid, it's burnt very difficult from your liver, from your kidneys. That's why a lot of kidney stones that people get, it is an excess buildup of these kind of additives in our food that we're having these days.
Oh, perfect. I do have a request for you, though, since you mentioned sugar high. Can we sooner or later talk about sugar high, if it is a thing or
Yes,
not?
it
If
is.
does
It
exist?
is. We can definitely talk about it. It is so big, and people. It's so scary how kids are on the sugar high, and
Right.
it's so like unfortunate that, you know, I see people like, oh, I cannot have a meal without diet soda. I cannot have a meal without, you know, a carbonated beverage. So these kind of sugar highs can be avoided. You just have to go towards whole foods, like actual foods. You have to make sure you're having the real food. Like go back to how our ancestors used to eat, you know, the actual, even when you come to dairy, if you're okay with it, you don't have negative effects to lactose or anything like that, you know, consume it in less amounts and try to go towards the raw version of it, not like, you know, the boxed ones that we have. Because again, carrageenan is another ingredient, now that you brought it up, that you find on those dairy boxes. When you're buying milk, make sure that it's not there. Even the almond milks or the soy milks that you get, carrageenan is a thing you want to avoid.
Oh, okay.
I mean, the only
Perfect,
thing I can
perfect.
think of right now is that, for example, if Lubna goes grocery, I don't know how long she might
Maybe
even
we can
take,
do
because-
that, you know, maybe we can all three go grocery shopping
I know,
together.
and you
Yeah.
can teach us
And
what
yeah,
to buy.
exactly.
Perfect.
That would be really fun.
Yeah, exactly. And then half of the time, people might not know that, ladies and gentlemen, whenever you're out there buying groceries, so, you know, there are a lot of items where you can see a red mark right underneath the box, or
Yeah.
probably a blue one or a red one. So they indicate a lot of things.
Definitely.
So can you shed light on that too as well? I
So-
know that I'm drifting away from your topic
Yes.
today, but can we do that?
But basically, that refers to how processed that item basically is.
Okay.
So
Okay.
even on your toothpaste, I'm sure
Yeah.
people have seen this on like Facebook. I'm guessing that's what you're referring to. So yes, the colors are coordinated and they do indicate a lot of things. So we can actually do another segment on this
yeah.
and about exactly what food labels are and what to look out for when you're going out
Okay, so
buying
let's
things.
not reveal that right right now.
Yes,
Okay,
exactly.
let's save it for the next
We're
segment.
gonna
But
do
I
it,
do
ladies
have a
and
question
gentlemen.
for
Yeah.
you. So you happen to be a mother and a wife as well, mashallah, and a fitness enthusiast. How exciting or boring does your food routine get at home?
Or probably, what does your husband say to you? You
Yeah, I
half
mean,
of
is
the
it
time,
always
"Oh,
veggies
Lubna,
on the table?
You're being
Do you-
picky about everything." And what happens then?
So no, it's actually really fun. My husband is a big foodie, okay?
Okay,
So
wow.
he loves to eat and he loves his food. So my main challenge with him was when we got married was that how do I make sure that he's still being a foodie, loves his food, but yet
Stays in
healthy.
shape.
stays healthy, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I got him into the whole gym routine and everything like that, but our main thing was food. So, but you know what? He loves any kind of food, which is great. And what I did, what I feel everyone should do is engage the whole family in cooking.
Yeah.
I mean, cooking is a really fun way to bond, like, you know,
Absolutely.
in
I
the
agree.
family. And when we go grocery shopping together, like, it's actually fun. We try to go and buy the vegetables instead of, like, you know, the packaged stuff. And that's where you should actually be. The farmer's market, you know, like go and buy organic, or if not organic, any kind of vegetable that's seasonally
Okay.
available, right? So for him, I try to play around with a lot of seasonings. I try to play around with the foods that he likes.
Okay.
But like I was mentioning, like finding the right substitute. So if he likes pasta, I try to grow for, like, say, whole grain
Okay.
or quinoa pasta that's even available as well. If he likes pizza, I try to make it at home or something. If he likes cake, I try to make gluten-free cake. He loves pancakes. I found like a really good recipe for oatmeal pancakes. Maybe we can even do that over here
Yeah.
one day.
I wish we can.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah, with the syrup too as well, as Caesar likes it too as well. But one last thing before we wrap up the segment, and that is that half of the time, you know, we do discuss the what to eat, what not to eat, but we have never ever discussed portions. So, and I think it is very important as well, because today when I was having my breakfast, so I had like 1.5 pieces of brown bread, and that's it. And now I'm feeling hungry. So,
What
so
did you have with the bread is my question.
I think it was one half fried egg. I think that's what it was, and I didn't eat the yolk because I forgot that you said that yolks
Yolk
are
is
safe.
okay.
Okay, so from tomorrow onwards probably.
Yes.
So what amount of portions and how many times are we supposed to eat in a day?
So I recommend about 4 to 5 meals during the day. But in those meals, like I always mention, make sure you're having your fiber. Make sure you're having your good fats. So for example, you had your egg and bread, but you didn't have the yolk. So the good fat is missing, right? So try to either make your egg in coconut oil or, like, you know, try toast your bread with coconut oil as well. That's something you can do. Or olive oil too, instead of putting it in the toaster and being so dry.
Yeah.
That's something you can totally do. And, you know, try to have those fats in your meal. And fiber, you can have like chia seeds. They're available so commonly in Pakistan, but people think it's so expensive, right? But it's actually not. And in Urdu, can I say the name in Urdu? It's called tuk malanga. And it's locally available and found in Pakistan as well. So it's not something that, you know, people, you have to go to a very high and fancy, you know, grocery store and find them in those packaged things like that says chia seeds, whole chia seeds, organic. You can totally find it in Pakistan as well. It's totally fine.
Wow.
Okay, so one thing, since you mentioned olive oil, I need to ask you this. It's sort of a myth. I'm not sure. You have to correct me if I'm wrong. I've heard not to cook olive oil for it tastes bad or it does bad things to you.
So yes, it actually is true in the sense that the good fats in olive oil, it's not, they die basically when you make food in high heat. So because especially our Asian food is made in high heat and we cook it for so long, there's no point of cooking it in olive oil because olive oil doesn't have those properties that can kind of go with that heat.
Right.
What's better is avocado oil or coconut oil is so much better. Even desi ghee, which is, you know, grass-fed ghee
I
butter.
like it very much.
Yeah. So as long as you're not going for the conventionally canned one and you're making it at home is what I recommend because it's super simple. It's really simple to make desi ghee at home.
Okay.
So if you're doing that, it's actually so much better to cook it in that because it will hold the good fats, it will hold the nutrient level in there. Olive oil is meant to be kind of taken, extra virgin olive oil, meant to be taken raw, like on salads, on top of your pizza. You'll
Just
see
like
a lot
that.
of Italians,
Yeah.
just like, you know, to add that good fat in your food. So that's what olive oil is actually for.
All right, so
perfect.
I
Thank
think
you
that
for
was quite a
informing
lot
us.
of information early in the morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Lubna, for being a pivotal part of our team, and it's always wonderful to get some lifestyle coaching from you.
And as we always say,
pleasure.
PTV is where we educate you.
Exactly, ladies and gentlemen. With that, we're going to go for a short break, but when you guys will come back, we have got a very amazing surprise. Because there's this amazing international sensation coming down to Pakistan. For what? There's something to be discussed right after the
Stay
break.
tuned. Good morning.
Passion for polo will be the highest on the world's highest polo ground. Shandur invites visitors to experience a traditional polo tournament between the teams of Chitral and Gilgit. The tournament is held on Shandur Pass, the highest polo ground in the world, at 3,700 meters above sea level. The first time a polo tournament took place on the Shandur Pass was in 1936. It is a place unique and exotic in itself, surrounded by some of the most spectacular mountain scenery in the world. The event marks the annual rivalry between the teams of Chitral and Gilgit. The polo tournament has some added attractions for the visitors: trout fishing at the nearby streams and lakes, and a festival of folk dances and music of northern Pakistan. The event in itself offers a fascinating insight into the lifestyle of the people of this region. Their culture and indigenous customs are a delight to behold for the visitors. Crystal clear lakes, snow-covered mountains, alpine flowers, and vast stretches of green grass are added attractions. Fairs and festivals of Pakistan.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching World This Morning with the amazing Shahzad Khan and Shiza Hashmi. And in the first segment, we had our teammate Lubna over here, and we discussed MSG, how important it is as a nutrient and how important it is to avoid it
Monosodium
actually.
glutamate.
Oh, wow.